I want you to break your business. What if I told you that breaking your business is actually the best thing you could do to grow it? It sounds backwards, but the truth is the biggest, most successful businesses, they don't shy away from things breaking. As a matter of fact, they embrace it because they know every time the business breaks, it's an opportunity to identify and build something stronger. And this isn't just about business, it's also about life. If you think about it, think about your marriage. You may find yourself arguing with your spouse about the same things over and over. And at first it's frustrating, but then when you step back, those arguments are signals. They're actually telling you what's wrong in your marriage, and that's valuable. Imagine if you never knew what the problems were. So these arguments, these problems, they reveal the areas in your relationship that need attention and tell you exactly what to fix to make your relationship stronger. So let's apply that same mindset to your business. Instead of fearing what might break, start embracing it. Instead of getting frustrated, start looking at those breakages as value. All right, let's imagine your business operating at full capacity. The phone's ringing off the hook, jobs are booked, your team is running full speed. What happens in those moments? What breaks? If you're honest, you already know. Maybe it's scheduling, maybe it's inventory, maybe it's customer service. Whatever it is, those are your opportunities to fix, refine, and grow. This is something I always emphasize when I'm coaching businesses. I like to identify the breaking points before they become full-blown problems. I've seen it over and over again in my business, my HVAC business, and the businesses that lean into this process. Those that intentionally break things to find weak spots are the ones that thrive in the long term. These are typically your big $7 million, $8 million, $10 million businesses. They like to push it to the limits to look for the breaks so they know how to fix that so they can grow to the next level. All right, let's start with this. Growth is not smooth, it's messy, it's chaotic, and it exposes weaknesses in your systems and processes. But here's the thing. Those weaknesses were always there. Growth didn't create them. It just reveals them. For example, one of my coaching clients came to me with a common problem. Their phones were ringing nonstop when it got busy in the summer, but they were missing calls and money because they didn't have the staff to handle the volume. It wasn't until we mapped out the cost of those missed calls that they realized how much revenue they were losing. That wake-up call led to hiring an additional CSR and implementing an AI answering system. What was the result? Their call capture rate skyrocketed and revenue followed. Businesses that succeed are the ones that usually lean into this process. They don't avoid breakages, they actually look for it. And you hear that a lot. People will say, well, I don't want to do this because I don't have the manpower for it. I don't want to advertise because of this. But it's better to try it, see what happens, see what breaks, go back, fix that, and then go back into that expansion, right? Because it's going to expose weaknesses, like I said earlier, that are already there that you just don't notice. All right? So let's start imagining this right now. I want you to imagine your business is running at full capacity. What does that look like? The phones don't stop ringing. Technicians are booked solid. Your team's juggling many things at once. What normally goes wrong in those moments? Think about the last time things got hectic. Maybe your scheduling system couldn't keep up. Maybe your trucks ran out of parts. Maybe your phone lines were so busy that calls went unanswered. These aren't just annoying problems. They're signals. They're value. They're showing you exactly where your systems need improvement. This is one of the first exercises I do with coaching clients. We imagine the business runs at its absolute busiest. We say, what's going to happen in the summer? What happens every summer? And we ask, what are the breaking points? It's a simple eye-opening exercise that forces you to confront the cracks in your foundation. Because if you can imagine something, you can do it. You don't have to wait until it happens. You can just use your imagination. So ask yourself, what can I do to fix those issues before they happen again? All right. Now, here's a surefire way to find out what breaks in your business. Take a vacation. Step away for 4 days and completely disconnect. Don't answer any calls. Don't check any emails. Just let your team handle everything. What happens? Now, you don't even have to take a break. You'll quickly see what can't function without you. Maybe it's scheduling. Maybe it's because no one else knows the process, because you're handling everything. It's a well-known fact. Business owners usually are the bottleneck to the business because you're saying, I'll do it, I'll do it, I'll do it. But what happens if you're not there? Maybe customer complaints pile up. Maybe there's no one to call back these big issues because you're always putting out fires. Maybe your team doesn't have the tools to resolve certain things. Whatever it is, that's your to-do list. Those are the systems you have to strengthen. As a matter of fact, before you even disconnect and take a vacation, imagine yourself taking a vacation and say, okay, I'm getting ready to leave. What do I need to teach my team while I'm gone? That'll identify breakages in your business. One of my coaching clients actually did this. He took a 4-day vacation, his first in years. And when he came back, his team had a list of problems they encountered. Scheduling was a mess because they didn't know how to prioritize jobs. They ran out of key parts that were used in almost every service call. They didn't have petty cash in case they had to buy something that wasn't at a supply house. Customer follow-ups didn't happen, on and on and on. At first, he was frustrated, but then when he sat down with me, we turned those frustrations into action steps. We created a clear scheduling protocol, set up a weekly inventory checklist for his trucks, and assigned follow-up tasks to specific team members. The result? The next time he took a vacation, the business ran smoothly, and he had peace of mind knowing his team could handle things without him. And that's the point. The vacation test is not just about finding out what breaks. It's about building a business that works whether you're there or not. And that can make team members a lot happier in their job because they don't have to constantly wait for you to solve things. People want to do their jobs without wondering if they're doing it right or if they have to get an answer from you and this and that. So that's what the vacation test does. Now, as you start coming up with solutions, you're going to notice something. Some of these solutions cost a lot of money. Maybe you need new software or more inventory. Maybe you need another employee. Your first instinct might be to reject those ideas because of the expense, but let me challenge you to think differently. Instead of focusing on the cost of the solution, think about the cost of not fixing it. One of the HVAC businesses I coached, they were losing thousands of dollars every year because they didn't have a clear system for booking follow-up appointments. Customers who needed maintenance weren't being reminded, and those small missed opportunities added up to a lot of money. And when I showed them the numbers, they realized the cost of hiring an extra CSR to handle follow-ups was a fraction of what they were losing. And once they made the investment, their revenue grew and their customer satisfaction skyrocketed, right? So you get it. The same applies to your business. What is it costing you to let these problems persist? How many customers are you losing? How much time are you wasting? How much stress is it causing you and your team? Most of the time, the cost of doing nothing is much greater than the cost of fixing the problem. And sometimes the opportunity you gain by fixing the problem is worth way more than the expense. All right, let's go through a few practical examples to bring this home. All right, for example, let's say you run short on money. You find yourself running short on cash at the same time every year. You know when it is. It's the slow season. Don't let it keep happening. That's a breakage in the business. Calculate how much you typically need and set up a line of credit as a safety net. Don't touch it, but it'll be there. Boom. No more stress in the slow season because that money is there. Or go out and seek more jobs during the busy season and close higher because you know exactly how much you fall short. Okay? Number 2, let's say you run out of inventory. When things get busy, you're running around back and forth to supply houses, running and getting parts, and operations grind to a halt. What's the solution? Create a list of the most commonly used items and make sure you're fully stocked up. Here's another example. The phones. Phones are one of the most critical parts of the business, right? Everyone is not scheduling online or texting. Baby boomers are still holding most of the wealth in the United States. And if calls go unanswered, you're losing a lot of opportunities, period. What's the solution? Hire someone to answer that phone. Boom, another breakage fixed. And these might seem like small changes, and there's a lot more examples. I'm just trying to seed your mind on the possibilities. but they add up to a business that's more efficient and profitable and less stressful. So the work you're doing to fix these breakages is not just about solving today's problems. It's about building a business that's ready for the future. A business that can handle growth, adapt to challenges, and seize opportunities, right? I want to leave you with this thought. What would happen if your business experienced a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity? Okay, think about this. There's a great story in the Bible where Jesus tells Peter to cast his nets over the side of the boat. Peter does it, and he hauls in the biggest catch of his life, but his nets weren't ready for that kind of harvest, and they broke under the weight. Imagine if Peter thought ahead. He did the full capacity test. He said, what if so many fish come? He'd be prepared, and he would have stronger nets, and he wouldn't have lost some of that incredible catch. I've had my own net-breaking moment in my business. One year, a tornado ripped through my town, and the demand for HVAC exploded overnight. Calls were coming in faster than we could answer, and we just weren't ready to handle the workload. We missed opportunities, and I'll probably never see a situation like that again. I could have predicted that. I could have imagined my business at capacity and at least had some things in place. That experience taught me a powerful lesson. You have to prepare for growth before it happens. You have to fix the cracks in your systems before they turn into major problems. And you have to build enough nets to handle the harvest when it comes. So here is my challenge to you. Start breaking your business now. Push it to its limits. Take a vacation, imagine full capacity, find the cracks, fix them, and build a business that thrives under pressure. And if you're not sure where to start, message me. We'll do a discovery call, and we'll talk about it. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe.